Week 1 of the fantasy football season, and it's great the season's back. And here's a top 12 defenses I'm ranking this week. The first one, the Baltimore Ravens. So the Ravens here got a great matchup at the New York Jets here in Week 1. And the Jets, it's either going to be Joe Flacco or Zach Wilson starting at quarterback for this New York Jet team. So right here, Baltimore, we know last season was a down year for them. We know their defense had a lot of lapses, but this season I think they're going to come in focused, and they're going to feast on this Jet offense. This Jet offense, honestly, they got a few decent guys, but no one that you're really going to be scared of. And this Raven team, if they get off to an early 10, 14-point lead, they're going to make this offense one-dimensional. And if it's Joe Flacco at quarterback, I believe there's going to be a lot of sacks in this game and a few turnovers as well, and this Jet offense is going to be pedestrian. So right here, I think the Ravens come in here in Week 1, and I wouldn't be surprised if they could get 20 fantasy points in this one with a few turnovers and possibly finding the end zone in this one. The second defense, the San Francisco 49ers, another great matchup for them as well here to kick off the season at the Chicago Bears. And this Bear offense, just like the New York Jets, few decent guys individually, but Justin Fields I don't think is a great quarterback. He's a guy with a bad offensive line as well. With this Niner team, their offense could get off to the early start early and often in this one, where they got to make him throw the football, and that's where Justin Fields does not get anything going here. When he's got to be forcing to throw and not use his legs is where he gets in trouble, and that's what San Francisco is going to do, I think, in this ball game. Take advantage of that. Their offense is going to get them off to an early lead, and then their defense is going to tee off and make Justin Fields make a few mistakes in this ball game. So right here, them in Baltimore, it could be 1A, 1B type of situation, who I think is going to be the top defense this week. But you can't go wrong with either of these defenses if they're on your roster. And I got San Francisco and number 2. Number 3, the Denver Broncos. So the Broncos here going to Seattle. And you know their defense, they're going to want to play out for Russell Wilson here in his return to Seattle as the Denver Bronco quarterback. And this defense, they've been a solid unit for seasons here, but the offense has been the problem, obviously, going through a quarterback carousel since Peyton Manning retired over in Denver. But now you got Russell Wilson. They signed him to an extension, and this defense, they're ready to go here. I think they're going to make some plays. Geno Smith, possibly the worst starting quarterback in all pro football here out of all the teams in the league here. And they're going to tee off on him early and often in this game. And the Broncos, just like the 49ers and the Ravens, I think they get off to an early start. And they're going to make this offense one-dimensional and try to make Geno Smith beat them. And Geno Smith, I know he's improved over the last few seasons, but there's no way he should be a starting quarterback in this league here, in my opinion. And I think they're going to make him force a few turnovers in this game. And I think they're going to get to him on a few sacks as well here is this Denver Bronco defense. I like him in number 3 this week. Number 4, the Indianapolis Colts. So all these teams are weak quarterbacks this week here. And the Colts last season was a turnover machine. Their defense caused so many turnovers. Darius Leonard, one of the best defensive players in the league. And this week here, they verse division opponent, the Houston Texans. And Davis Mills, he's going to be the guy over there in Houston. And Houston, they don't got much going for them offensively. I know they got Damian Pierce, the rookie, who's very explosive in the preseason, putting up big games, and a guy a lot of fantasy owners have gone out there and got in the 4th or 5th round in most fantasy drafts. But this game, I think they're going to try to shut Pierce down early and often and have Davis Mills try to beat him. But right here, this offense is going to be improved with Matt Ryan over Carson Wentz this season. Michael Pittman's going to take the next step. Jonathan Taylor, we know, is the best running back in the game from last season entering this season. And this defense is going to be put in good positions here. And Davis Mills is going to be running for his life in this one. So I think the Colts easily could get double-digit fantasy points in this week. And with these first 4 defenses I mentioned, you can't go wrong with any of them. And I got Indianapolis in number 4. Number 5, the New Orleans Saints. So the Saints have a great matchup on paper this week at the Atlanta Falcons. And coming into the season, I had the Saints as a top 10 defense anyway on my rankings. So right here, the Falcons, it's a rebuild year, no doubt about it. It's a transition going from Matt Ryan to Marcus Mariota, who threw maybe a few pass attempts last season where he was a gadget guy for the Las Vegas Raiders on some plays, filling in for Derek Carr. But anyway, here, they have a few weapons as Atlanta, but a lot of young guys. Drake London, Kyle Pitts, I like those guys, obviously. Damian Williams might even be the starter in this game over Cordell Patterson, who knows. But anyway, this New Orleans defense, they're a solid unit for many seasons. And this is how they're going to win a lot of games this season, playing good defense, Jameis Winston being more of a game manager than a gunslinger like he was in Tampa Bay a few seasons ago. But right here, Marcus Mariota, I don't think he's going to do much in this game. He's good for a few turnovers, and he's good for a few sacks. And I think the Saints in this one have a good ball game, and they put in a top 5 performance this week. Number 6, the Tennessee Titans. So I had the Titans as a start unit on my defenses to start. And they got a great matchup this week here. And if you want a streaming option, I know it's week 1, but any way to stream a defense, the Tennessee Titans is that defense here, where they're versus a New York Giant team that's obviously one of the worst offensive lines in the league, even though they improved it through free agency and the draft. But still, the Giants on the road, they don't do much. And this Titan team at home, they're built on running the football and playing great defense. And I think this defense could get to Daniel Jones. They could shut down Barkley, make them one-dimensional. And I think they're good for a couple turnovers in this game. So I got Tennessee at number 6. And believe it or not, they're available in 62% of fantasy leagues if you want to stream them this week. Number 7, the New England Patriots. So the Patriots, one of the better defenses in the league last season, and they're a team that caused a lot of turnovers as well and have a ball-hawking defense, and they get to the quarterback. And Tua, it's going to be a long game here for Tua, I believe. Once again, they're going to take Tyreek Hill out. That's what Bill Belichick does, takes the best offensive weapon out of an opposing offense here, and then he makes the other guys try to beat him. So Hill's going to be taken out of the game plan, and it's going to be Tua trying to beat this Patriot defense, going to Jalen Waddle, Mike Gesicki, and Edmonds out of the backfield here. So I think the Patriots, their defense could put in a decent ball game, anywhere from 8 to 10 fantasy points. And this is going to be a close ball game, I think, between two division rivals in the AFC East. But I still think New England has a good performance, and I got them at number 7. Number 8, the Philadelphia Eagles. So the Eagles as a unit, I don't think they're a great defense, but it's another matchup-based type of thing here for me with the Eagles versus a Detroit Lion offense. That's one of the worst offenses in all pro football, even though they got some decent individual guys for fantasy football as well. They got a DeAndre Swift. Hawkinson, he's a decent tight end. And Amon St. Brown had a breakout season last year. But I think the Eagles here, they're going to get to the quarterback early. They're going to get off to a good start, up 10, 14 points, especially adding A.J. Brown to already an offense that's dynamic with a Dallas Goedert, Jalen Hurts, what he could do with his legs, and obviously a Devonta Smith, the Heisman Trophy winner a few years ago. So Philly's defense is going to be put in a good position where they can make Detroit one-dimensional. And I think it's going to be a long day for Jared Goff. And they're another defense you could obviously stream this week here. And I got the Eagles at number 8. Number 9, the Cincinnati Bengals. So the Bengals, another streaming type of option. Mitchell Trubisky won the starting job here. And we've seen throughout Mitchell Trubisky's career, he's a guy that turns over the ball a lot and a guy that don't get a lot going on offense, even though I like the weapons he has on offense. You got a great back in Najee Harris, Deontay Johnson, who's a catch machine and a great possession receiver. I know Claypool had a down year last year, but I think he could bounce back with more of a stronger arm, obviously, with Trubisky than Roethlisberger had at the end. Pat Freiermuth, he's a tight end that could have a breakout season. And George Pickens, the surprising rookie so far in the preseason, could play a good role for this Pittsburgh Steelers team. So right here, Trubisky has good weapons, but I still think this Bengal team in another division matchup here, like I mentioned, it's going to be a close ball game. It's going to be in the mid-teens to low 20s, I believe here. And I think the Bengals could make a few plays and make Trubisky turn that ball over. So this week here, I think they finish with a top 10 performance. And I got them in number 9. Number 10, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So the Bucs, one of the top 5 defenses drafted in most fantasy drafts this season here. And I know on paper the matchup ain't great, but I still think they have a good ball game. Is Tampa Bay. And number 10, this Dallas Cowboy offense, a lot of change from last season to this season here. Lionel Collins, they cut. He was one of their better O-linemen. He's gone. Tyron Smith, he's hurt for probably the whole season here. I know they signed Jason Peters, but I don't know if he's going to be ready week 1. Amari Cooper, they traded. He's gone. Michael Gallup, he's hurt. Ezekiel Elliott, I think his best days are behind him. So this Tampa Bay Buck team, if they could get pressure on Dak Prescott early, that's when he cracks under pressure. And he has a lot of 3-and-outs and turns the ball over. And I think that's what it's going to be here. This Tampa Bay offense, I can't see Dallas stopping them. I see Brady and the offense going up and down the field the majority of the game and being in the red zone a lot in this one. And then this defense is going to make Dallas one-dimensional and tee off on Prescott. So right here, Tampa Bay, I'm not ranking them super high, but I think 7 to 10 point range is definitely a possibility for them this week. And I got them at number 10. Number 11, the Buffalo Bills. So I know this is going to be a monster shootout, but I got the Bills at 11 here. And this ball game, I think the Bills still could get to the quarterback. Adding Von Miller was a huge addition in the offseason, even though he was overpaid, no doubt about it, here from Buffalo. But that's all they were missing last year. I think they could have got to the Super Bowl as Buffalo and possibly win the whole thing. So, yes, this game will be a shootout. But I still think the Bills could get a few sacks in this game and maybe 1 or 2 turnovers, because we know Matthew Stafford's a gunslinger. And we also know that elbow's probably not 100%, and the Rams are keeping it a little bit hush-hush over there. But anyway, yeah, the Rams are going to put points on the board, but I still think this Buffalo unit, they're so talented, can make some plays in this game, and I got them coming into the season as the number 2 defense this season here. So Buffalo in this one, they still could put 8 and 9 points, and a lot of people took them as the first or second defense drafted off their draft boards here. So right now, I got Buffalo at number 11 this week here, and I think they put in a good ball game. And the 12th and final defense I'm ranking this week is the Los Angeles Rams. So, yes, it's going to be a shootout, but the Rams, they got, honestly, probably the 2 best players at their positions. Aaron Donald is a pass rusher, and Jalen Ramsey is a cornerback here. So right here, this Ram defense, they still can put pressure on the quarterback. They still can make plays. They're going to make Josh Allen, I think, run a little bit in this one, take a few sacks here and there. But it's going to be a shootout, no doubt about it. But obviously, the defenses, they can make a play or two and even find the end zone in this one for all we know. It's going to be a wild game in the opener Thursday night. And these are top 2 defenses, in my opinion, coming into the season in the rankings. But obviously, I got them lower the way the game's going to go in this one. But right here, I could see the Rams make a few plays in this game. And when you got a Donald and Ramsey, like I mentioned, anything can happen defensively where they could find the end zone or make a big play in this one. So that's the top 12 defense DST units I'm ranking here for week 1 of the fantasy football season.